So this is HTML basics. This video is not intended to be an educational video. It's intended to be a tool for repetition. The best way to learn is through repetition, and that's what this video is for. So this is going to be a broken, annoying record video. So you can just listen to it and memorize stuff. What we're going to talk about here is the skeleton when you start an HTML document. Okay, so let's get on with it. So when you open the text editor, you can't just start writing, you have to set it up as HTML. To do that, we need to declare the doc type. So to do that, we do a tag. So look, I'm going to keep this really short. A tag is a less than sign and a greater than sign used as brackets, okay? So a less than sign and a greater than sign, use them as brackets. That's called a tag. If I say tag, that's what I'm talking about. If you forget, just go to the start of the video, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to say, in this case, tag, exclamation mark, all capitals, DOCTYPE, space, HTML. So it's a tag right at the top of the screen with an exclamation mark. In capitals, we type DOCTYPE, space, in lowercase, HTML. So the tag is, we do a tag, exclamation mark. We do capitals, DOCTYPE, spacebar, lowercase, HTML. So that's how we declare that what doc type it is at the top of the page. We're declaring an HTML doc type. Again, we put a tag, we need to put a tag at the top of the page with an exclamation mark, with capital letters DOCTYPE, space, lowercase, HTML. So again, tag, exclamation mark, capitals DOCTYPE, space, lowercase, HTML. That's how to do the doc type tag. It's tag, exclamation mark, DOCTYPE in capitals, space, HTML in lowercase. Next we need HTML tags. So it's tag, HTML. So between, and then this is nice, I'm using Visual Studio Code here and it automatically kind of knows what I'm going to type. So we've got two tags. Underneath the doc type tag, we've got two tags. They're two HTML tags. We've got one where there's tag and we've written HTML. The other one we've got tag and then we've got / HTML. The / one represents the last, so it's the closing tag. A closing tag has a /. So when we need two tags, like we do in this case, we have a / indicating a closing tag. So to tell the page where to put the HTML, you need to have two HTML tags. So we've got the doc type tag at the top. Then we've got two HTML tags, and everything goes inside those two HTML tags. You have to put all of your HTML and everything inside those two HTML tags. Okay, next we need a head. So we do tag, HEAD for head, and then we do two of those. One's open and one closed. Again, beautiful. I love this Visual Studio Code. Didn't even have to type it. So now on the page, let's just start from scratch. We've got doc type at the top. We've got an HTML tag. We've got a head tag. Then we've got a closing head tag and a closing HTML tag. So the two head tags are within the HTML tags. So we've got doc type HTML, so exclamation, doc type in capitals HTML, the top tag at the top. Then we've got the two HTML tags, one's HTML and one's / HTML, which is the closing tag. Within the HTML tags is where everything else goes, which is where we've put the head tags. So we've got head tag, and then we've got a closing head tag with the /. Underneath that, we're going to do a body tag. So the body is, if you're doing a web page, all the images and content and everything goes inside the body of an HTML text, the HTML text. So let's write body, B-O-D-Y for body, do a tag, and then again you have a closing tag for body. So now we've got tag, B-O-D-Y, then we've got underneath that tag / B-O-D-Y. So we've got two body tags, an opening body tag and then a closing body tag with the /. So now if we look at the page, we've got doc type HTML at the top, so exclamation mark, doc type, D-O-C-T-Y-P in capitals, then HTML, so that's our doc type at the top. Then we've got two HTML tags. So one at the top and one at the bottom with the /, and everything else goes inside the HTML tags. We've got two little other tags there. Sorry, I just dropped my microphone. We've got two other tags there. We have got the head tag at the top. So this is underneath the first HTML tag. We've got tag HEAD. Then we've got a bit of space to put all the stuff for the head. Then we've got a closing head tag, so /HEAD. Underneath those two head tags, before the final HTML tag, so in between the last head tag and the last HTML tag, we've got the body tags. So we've got BODY and then /BODY. So we're getting pretty good here. We've got a lot going. We can start doing HTML now, so this is pretty good. Let's put in some more stuff. Now let's put in some metadata. Now metadata is kind of like the secret hidden stuff that you don't see on a website. So all the metadata goes inside the head tags, and all the data that you want seen on your web page goes in the body tags. So let's do some metadata. I'm going to do a tag. I'm going to write meta. So when you're doing metadata, you write meta space char set equals quotes capital U, capital T, capital F-8. So what is happening here? Now, again, I didn't want to spend too much time explaining everything, and I'm not going to. I'm just going to briefly touch on this one, though. So char set is the characters you use. They're the characters on the keyboard. We're telling the page that we're going to use the ASCII characters that are on our keyboard. There's another one, UTF-16 is another example of another character set. If you're building a massive, like Microsoft Windows, a big operating system, you would tend to use something like UTF-16. But if you're doing anything else, just basic coding, it's UTF-8. So we're going to use UTF-8, which is an 8-bit character set. The way we write character set is C-H-A-R-S-E-T, so char set, C-H-A-R-S-E-T, char set. And we equal that to UTF-8. So it's UTF in capitals -8, and that's inside quote marks. So that's inside quote marks. Now, so next we're going to talk about language. So sometimes when you go on the internet, it's good to tell the document what language you're using. Now, when you do the language, that goes inside the HTML tag, the top HTML tag. So it goes inside the actual tag itself. So between the less than sign and the greater than sign, you're going to add some information here about the language, and it's L-A-N-G is how you tell it language, equals quote marks EN for English. Okay, so this is the second tag in the page. This is the first HTML tag. Inside that tag, we're typing lang, L-A-N-G, lang equals EN for English inside quote marks. So again, the first HTML tag, we go to the HTML, do a space bar, write lang equals EN in quotes. Lang equals EN in quotes. We're telling the computer we're going to use English. We're telling it by writing it inside the top HTML tag, inside the actual tag itself. After HTML, we're going to write lang, L-A-N-G, lang equals EN. Lang equals EN in quote marks. Lang equals EN in quote marks. We are using English. We're telling the page that we're using English. So inside the HTML tag, we're going to type lang equals EN in quote marks. Lang equals EN in quote marks. Okay. So you can begin now. You're pretty much set to roll. You can start doing your HTML, but I'm going to add some more metadata. Again, you type meta. This time I'm going to do http-equiv. A-E-Q-U-I-V. So http-equiv. http-equiv. And we're going to equal that. So we get the quote marks again. Capital X dash. Capital U-A dash. Then the word compatible with a capital C. So capital C and then lowercase O-M compatible. Compatible. Okay, so compatible. Whoops, what have I done there? I thought that didn't look right. I've got an extra T there. That's a bit silly. Okay, so, and we'll better close that because that head's gone red, as you can see, because it's wondering where the closing tag is. Okay, so we've got another piece of metadata here that we've just put in. Hang on, I'm just going to fix things up. I'm going to put some more in there, but I'm just going to fix up. Okay, so after compatible, inside that tag, the metadata tag, we're going to do content, the word content. And we're going to equal that to capital I, capital E, equals edge, the word edge. Okay, so this is a long one, so I'm going to go over it a few times. So inside the head tags is where the metadata goes. We've got one metadata tag. We've done tag meta spacebar char set equals UTF-8. Now we're doing some more metadata. So underneath the first metadata tag, we're doing another tag. We're writing meta, then we're writing http-equiv equals capital X dash capital UA dash compatible with a capital C in quote marks. From the X to compatible, that's all in quote marks. So after the equals, it's all in quote marks. Then we've got space content, C-O-N-T-E-N-T equals quotes, capital I-E equals edge, E-D-G-E. So again, this particular metadata, we wrote meta to tell the tag it's metadata. We've got http-equiv equals, in quotes, x-ua-compatible. Then content equals, in quotes, IE equals edge. So it's http.equiv equals, in quotes, x-u-a-compatible, space content equals, quotes, IE equals edge. I'll just go over that, start going over that slowly again. So it's tag, meta, M-E-T-A, space, http dash equiv equals quotes capital X dash capital UA dash capital C lowercase OMPATIBLE space content CONTENT equals quotes capital IE equals edge. Let's do that one more time. Meta space http dash equiv equals quotes x dash ua dash compatible with a capital C space content equals quotes IE equals edge. So that's the second metadata. We're going to do another metadata. So we need another tag. This time we're going to write name equals, commas, we're going to do viewpoint, V-I-E-W, port, viewport. Just going to close this tag off. Oh, hang on, sorry, I don't have meta. So remember, everything starts with meta. I didn't write meta. So this tag, you write meta. After meta, you've got a space bar. You've got name equals viewport. V-I-E-W-P-O-R-T, space content again. So we're going to use this content one again, okay? Content equals, inside the quotes, we're going to do width. So that's going to be a long one. Width equals device dash width colon initial. Just checking my spelling here, make sure it's right. Yep, initial dash scale equals 1.0. So that's all inside the quote marks there. Really long one. So I'm going to go over this a couple of times again because this is a long one. So we've got a third metadata tag. We write meta, M-E-T-A, space name equals viewport in quotes. V-I-E-W-P-O-R-T. Name equals viewport in quotes. Then we've got a space content equals, now all in quotes, we've got width equals device dash width colon initial dash scale equals 1.0. So again, it's meta, name equals viewport, content equals width equals device width, colon initial scale equals 1. Width equals device width, colon initial scale equals 1. The name is viewport. The content is width equals device width, initial scale equals 1. So we've got name equals viewport, the content is width equals device width, and initial scale equals 1. Let's slow down how it's written again. So after meta, you've got a space, you've got name equals, quote, viewport, space, content equals, quotes, width equals device dash width, colon, initial dash scale equals 1.0. I'm going to do that again. Name, quotes, viewport, name equals viewport in quotes, content equals in quotes, width equals device dash width, colon, initial dash scale equals 1.0. Okay, so that's a lot of metadata. That would be hard to remember, but when you repeat things, you can tend to remember more than you realize. I'm going to do one more tag. I'm going to write title inside the tag, and then I'm going to have a closing tag, and then I'm going to write document. Okay, so we've got all the skeletons set up now. That's everything set up, ready to go inside the text for HTML, to start writing HTML. First thing I'm going to do is go over what's inside the head, because that's where it starts to get a bit complicated, the metadata. So the first metadata tag we put was meta charset equals UTF-8 in quotes. Then the second metadata tag we put meta http.equiv equals in quotes capital X dash capital UA dash compatible with a capital C, space content equals in quotes capital IE equals edge. The tag under that we did meta name equals viewport in quotes, content equals in quotes width equals device dash width colon initial dash scale equals 1.0. And then we did two title tags, an opening and closing title tag, and we wrote the word document inside those two tags. So again, the metadata, we've got charset equals UTF-8. The second tag, we've got HTTP equiv equals X UA compatible, content equals IE equals edge. The next tag, name, viewport, content, width equals device width, initial scale equals 1.0. Now let's go over it all again for the purpose of repetition, what we've done here. So we're doing an HTML skeleton. We're setting up the page so we can write HTML. At the top we're declaring it. We're doing a tag with the exclamation mark in capitals DOCTYPE space lowercase HTML. Then we're doing two HTML tags. So one at the top and one at the bottom. So two tags, we've got HTML, and then the bottom one we've got /HTML. So we've got the two HTML tags. Everything goes inside those HTML tags. Then we need a head and a body. So we've got the first head tag, and then the closing head tag with the /head. Then underneath that, we've got body tag, and then we're closing with a /body tag. So we should have doc type at the top, HTML opening, head closing, body opening, body closing, HTML closing. Okay, so we've got doc type at the top, HTML at the very top and the very bottom. In between the HTML, we've got two head tags opening and closing, and then two body tags opening and closing. I'm going to repeat that. So we've done the doc type, we've done tag, exclamation mark, capital DOCTYPE, space lowercase HTML. We've got the two HTML tags, opening and closing. Everything else goes inside those two tags. We've got a head and a body, so we've got two head tags and an opening and closing, and then we've got two body tags, opening and closing. Now let's slow down and view in on this metadata again. We've got some metadata in there. Inside the head tags is where the metadata goes. We've got the first one says meta, M-E-T-A space charset, C-H-A-R-S-E-T equals in quotes capital UTF-8. So the first metadata is the character set, which is UTF-8. So we've written meta charset equals UTF-8 in quotes. So the UTF-8 goes in the quote marks. Everything that we're assigning this metadata to, okay, everything we're equalsing, we put we do the identifier name, so like character set or name or content, and then we assign it using the equals. Everything else after the equals is in quotes. Even if you look at the top one, we've got language inside the first HTML, where we put the language. It's language equals, and then everything else after the equals in HTML is inside double quotes. So again, a little reminder there too. So remember we put the language at the top there in the first opening HTML tag. Inside that tag after HTML, we wrote lang equals en in quotes. Lang equals en. Now from now on, if you hear me say equals, whatever I say after that is going to be in quotes, okay? So let's start with the metadata. So tag meta charset equals capital UTF-8. Next tag meta http.equiv equals capital X dash capital UA dash compatible with a capital C space content equals capital IE equals edge. Remember, everything after the equals has the two quote marks. Okay, so the third metadata tag, we've got meta space name, view equals viewport, content equals width equals device width, colon, initial dash scale equals 1.0. And then we've got two title tags inside the head, and we've written the word document inside there. So again, let's start from scratch. We've got the document, doc type at the top in capitals, DOCTYPE, with obviously an exclamation mark, and then HTML. We've got the two HTML tags, opening and closing. We've got the two head tags, and then we've got the two body tags underneath the two head tags. Then we've got inside the first HTML tag, we declared a little language there, so we put lang equals en, language equals English inside the HTML tag. Then we did inside the head, between the head tags, we did 4 more tags, or 3 more metadata tags. We did meta charset equals UTF-8. We did meta http-equiv equals x-ua-compatible. Content equals IE equals edge. Okay, then we did a new one, which is meta. Name equals viewport. Content equals width equals device dash width, colon, initial dash scale equals 1.0. So I think that's enough. You can repeat the video if you want to repeat stuff over and over again. But hopefully this helps. Repetition does definitely help. And if you've got time to listen to this while you're doing something, things will sink in without you realizing it, without trying. Things will sink in and you will learn more without trying, which gives you more time to learn when you are trying, when you're putting in effort, learn to dig in deep. This is a nice opportunity to learn when you're doing other things. So I hope it's been helpful. I know it's helpful to me, that's why I do these. Thank you very much for listening.